Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record. Off the record. Yeah, we keep it real. No filters, here we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on. We talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the God, let's go. Foxy to Roxy, 3 she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio.
That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard. Lizzie with the facts she never missed. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. This the realest show you ever saw. Off the record. We said what we said. Off the record. Yeah. Yeah. We said what we said. Off the record.
Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to Off the Record with your boy Minion the God. I'm here with I Said What I Said, and we got a few things to get into tonight. So I hope y'all ready, and let's get into it. What's up? I Said What I Said.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the Off the Record show. We're glad that you can join us. And Minion, it's a lot going on, a whole lot. You know, we've been kind of MIA for about, maybe 6 or 7 days, and it's like you just can't miss because there's so much going on. But we're gonna get into it tonight, and we have a great show, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't have a choice. He doesn't really give us any alternative to speak about anything else. But you want to know it,
Yeah,
guys?
right.
Uh, If you guys are here, go ahead and speak in the chat. I think I gave my moderator the night off. So you want to go ahead and do the shout outs?
Sure. I'm glad the chat started back working because all I saw was just one person. Hey, Nana and Nene, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here and happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day, everybody. And we have Foxy 2, Roxy 3, which is the Foxy Angel Zone. She's sick, guys, and she normally joins us on the show, and we're going to continue to pray for Foxy, but she's still sick and shut in.
Oh, well, let's
I know.
shout out to Fox for being in the building even while she's sick.
Right. And hello to you, Leo lady. Happy hump day to you also. And thank you for being here tonight. And
And
thank
yeah,
everybody in the bushes. It looked like we have a lot of people in our bushes. So shout out to the bushes and thank you guys for being here. And everybody, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to both channels, all three channels. Off the record, Media channel, I Said What I Said channel, and Foxy 2, Roxy 3 channel. And if you're joining my channel, it's I Said What I underscore said, so that you can find the channel. I tend to forget to let everybody know that. So sometimes people have a lot of, they have a hard time finding us. And look like we have 2 Cent Gorilla that's entering into the house. Welcome in, 2 Cent, and thank you for being here.
What's good? What's good? Well, um, if that is everybody, like I said what I said, don't forget to hit the like button. But we're going to be talking about a few things, and just to highlight a few of the things that we're going to be talking about right here before we get into the show, we're going to be talking about if Pam Bondi lied while she was under oath. Now, I know if you guys saw the hearing with Pam Bondi, then y'all know that that was crazy. She got grilled pretty spectacularly, if you ask me. Um, but we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk about if she lied under oath. We're gonna look at that Jasmine Crockett lashing that she gave to Pam Bondi, and a little bit of Pam Bondi's response to it. We're gonna talk about, of course, the racist post that Donald Trump made. We're gonna talk about Kid Rock calling Jay-Z a DEI hire. We're going to also be talking about the grand jury and them going ahead and pretty much shutting down whatever case the DOJ tried to bring against the Democrats that had that message for the the people of the armed forces. Then we're going to talk about DHS employees arrested in connection with a SA trafficking ring. We're also going to talk about the Facebook serial dating attacker. And then, of course, we got to get into the Trumpstein files or the Epstein files or whatever you guys want to. I call them the Trumpstein files right now, but we're going to talk about those. And then the Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, makes headlines. We're going to talk about why, and why Prince Edward's ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, is back in the news. So we got a lot to discuss. And I guess if we don't have, do we have any more shout outs before we get into it?
Yeah, we had a couple. We had Who Dat come in. Welcome in, Who Dat, and thank you for being here. Happy hump day to you too, ma'am. And everybody is wishing. I just want Foxy to know that Nana and Nene and Leo lady. Everybody's wishing you well, Foxy, and for you to feel better soon. So just want to let you know that also.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're wishing for a speedy recovery for
Exactly.
Foxy.
Right.
All right. Well, one of the other things that we kind of threw into the mix tonight was if Jesus would vote for Kamala Harris or if she would have voted for Donald Trump. And this man, he seems to have the answer to that question. So we're going to watch. What's his name?
Paul Lance.
Okay. Paul Lance. So if y'all haven't
Huh?
subscribed, y'all can go ahead and find this channel and subscribe. But let's get into it. And we'll just give our commentary throughout.
I didn't vote for Donald Trump because I'm a person of faith. I guess you can call me a Christian. How can you think that Jesus would vote for that? You people talk about being pro-life day after day after day, and you voted for a man who rapes women. You voted for a man who's on the Epstein files 30,000 times. We all know he molested little girls.
Allegedly, allegedly.
He sat there for hours while officers were beaten. Pro-life? Vice President Harris wanted universal health care. She wanted to increase minimum wage. She wanted to build more houses to make housing affordable. She wanted to help with the environment, to protect the lives of people. She wanted to implement gun reform because over 40,000 people die every year from gun violence. She wanted to help people get out of college debt. And she wanted to help small businesses. and tax rich people. That sure seems pro-life to me, doesn't it? Because that's what it was. You just didn't want the black woman.
Is that what it is? They just didn't want. We just didn't want the black woman in charge.
I feel like that's the case. And not only just for the white evangelicals or Christians or whatever whatever they're calling themselves. I think it was a lot of men, period, that didn't feel like a woman could be the president for whatever reason. It's really funny because you have other countries that have women presidents. Hell, Mexico got one right now.
Hmm.
And so America, to me, they always stay, we're always like one step behind everybody. We say we the superpower because we probably have more money than everybody else. And that could be past tense, based on, who's in office right now, because of how, he's just running up the deficit and grabbing money on his own. So, we used to be allegedly well,
Right.
that's not allegedly, but we are considered the superpower. So we could have a woman in office, and I feel like it's a lot of men that just it's some women too. When I was on social media when she was running, I saw some women saying that a woman can't handle it. So
Yeah, and on top of the fact that she also is a woman of color, um, that probably could definitely have something to do with the fact that they feel like she's not capable enough. But
right.
I mean, by all accounts, if you look at her resume in comparison to the person who we have in office,
Hmm.
just strictly on paper,
Hmm.
it would seem that she would
On
be
credentials.
more qualified for the position, but apparently America saw it differently, and now we're where we're at.
Mhm.
Um, so let's just keep looking at this way. Let's keep looking at.
Because we could talk about this. We could just talk about this one subject alone, because not only was she the most qualified, because after all, she was the vice president, and her credentials. She could stand behind her credentials,
Right.
which her resume look a whole hell of a lot better than the current person in office right now. Their resume couldn't compare to Vice President Harris's resume. And I'll digress and go on mute and let you finish the video.
No, I mean, even if we were to go with the argument of a lesser of two evils at this point, because it just. But I mean, like they say, hindsight is 20/20. So
You're not pro-life, you're forced birth. You've bought into the BS lie of the white evangelical church that abortion is the worst sin in the world. And being gay, because the Bible says that a man shall not lie with another man's wife. But yet you voted for a person who is on his third marriage, who cheats on all of his wives. In fact, while his third failed marriage is at home, who's an immigrant, by the way, that can't even speak English, he's having sex with a porn star while she's at home recovering, giving birth to their 2-week-old son.
damn.
Wow.
Woo.
Really pro-life. Exactly what
Dang.
Jesus would do, right? And even
He ain't holding back, is he?
Just scandalous.
But I mean, a fact is a fact. The
Yes,
truth
sir.
is the truth.
Yeah, he's speaking the truth. He's spitting bars. I ain't gonna lie
Yeah.
about that. But who is scandalous and it's juicy?
Oh, yes, it is.
then, he posted a picture of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys. And he won't even apologize. And you white supremacists are out there going, well, that's not what he meant. That's not what he said. He's never apologized for anything in his life. What kind of a man marries a woman 3 different times, 3 different women, and goes, I'm going to love you for better or for worse until death do us part, and you're out there bragging about grabbing women by the PUSSY while you're married? He's literally assaulted over 25 women. And he's on the Epstein files 30,000 times. What do you think Jesus
More
would
than
do?
that.
He would be in Minneapolis right now, in that church with Don Lemon flipping tables over, he would be pissed that you people have weaponized his name in order to maintain the white male patriarchy, because that's all this is. You were never going to vote for the black woman because you're racists.
Bam.
There's a reason that 250 years of the experiment, half our country are women, and we've never had one president, because people like you buy into the patriarchy and you call it Christianity. Donald Trump is the least Christ-like person that God's ever made, maybe next to Benito Mussolini and Hitler. My cat that licks his ass is more Christian than Donald Trump.
Damn.
Every 4 years you ask yourself, am I better off than I was 4 years? Am I better off? Me. Oh, wow, that's really great. The greatest commandment is to love thy neighbor as thyself, isn't it? And all you do is love yourself. You ignored all of the cruelty, calling women fat, calling them piggy, infidelities, insurrection, felonies, sexual assaults, because I got more money in my bank account. What do you think Jesus would value? Money in his bank account, or morality and decency and kindness?
Woo. He is cooking.
Baby, he is going in.
He is. He is.
I guess he fed up like the rest of America,
He's
and
fed
you
up.
know, he just had to get that off his chest, and he's really telling the truth.
That's true.
You
I
can't
mean,
say you love Jesus and you hate your neighbor all in the same sentence.
right.
It ain't Christian like.
And you okay with 10 million people getting taken off their health care just to fund billionaires and make them richer? You can't if money is is the goal, then that's the first thing. We're starting off wrong, because
Let
that's
me count the damn ways on how they're raining havoc on the American public. They're trying to they're taking school lunches out of the kids. They don't even care if the kids get fed. Like he said, you say you're pro life, and that's all you care about it if a woman get pregnant, because once that baby get here, nobody they don't want to help take care of the baby. They don't want to help feed the kids. And how can a kid learn on a hungry stomach? You can't really do anything and focus well when you're hungry. And so they're taking away Section 8 from single parents. They're taking away electricity assistance for people who can't afford to pay their electric bill. They're taking away the food stamps so that families can't eat. And they're saying all of this in one breath, because most Republicans in office right now that voted for these policies, that went ahead and ushered them on through, most of them say that they're Christians. Even the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, is always speaking Christianity. And you're not even supposed to mix those two. But, this is what's going on with the Christians and the evangelicals that's running our country.
they're okay with people getting, murdered in the streets, in the middle of the street, trying to help an innocent bystander. They got pushed down.
Mm-hmm.
The man had his hands up,
All right.
and he ended up assassinated with 10 gunshots in his back while he's on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And these people are claiming to be Christian, but they don't see that that's a problem. He shouldn't have gotten ISIS way. That's your logic? Like, is that where we're at right now? Where the woman is saying, you're not. I don't have any problems with you. She's
Why she driving off the opposite direction?
Opposite direction. All the facts prove to this woman is labeled as a homicide, and people are still like, you know what? They shouldn't get in ISIS way. But then they show this outrage when one of the directors of ICE is going around portraying himself to be a man of Christ and of the cloth, and because he's getting called out because he's okay with the way that these people are being treated. Take out the politics. just the
Mm-hmm.
humanity in which they are going by, the lack of humanity in which they are going about, these tactics. I think these people had every right to enter into this church and question this faith leader, this person that is leading a congregation of people,
Mm-hmm.
but promoting that type of behavior outside of the church. That's blasphemous. And so I feel like he had every right. They had every right. And the fact that Don Lemon, you know what I'm saying, was arrested for just even broadcasting it.
And don't forget Georgia, the lady that was arrested with Don Lemon. Remember? The FBI came to her house last week.
So I guess you just can't, but the other the woman who the conservative woman who went into the church like a month prior because she said that the people were homosexual and all this other stuff, that was okay for them. These people, they definitely don't exemplify what it means to be Christian. And we're gonna continue listening, but
The people that you white supremacists worship, the racist podcaster, said that dead Americans was worth the cost of the Second Amendment. That's your man who asked for the execution of Joe Biden, who joked about gay people being thrown out of buildings in Gaza, who said if a pilot's black, how do I know if you're qualified? Praise Jesus. Hallelujah. Can I get a revelation? And that's the guy you worship. You won't say a thing about gun violence. 40,000 people die every year. Not a damn thing. There's nothing I can do. But the moment a barista doesn't put the name of Charlie Kirk, a racist podcaster, you cry, you scream, you be the white victim, and you set up GoFundMe's because my emotions are hurt. But you didn't give a damn about the 5 officers that died after January 6th because of the lies that he told. He bore false witness over 30,000 times, but you don't care about that. But you're pro-life. You're never pro-life. You're forced birth. Women like Amber Thurman died because of your anti-pro-life laws. Adriana Smith, her corpse was forced to be alive for 4 months after she had complications from her pregnancy because you're pro-life. Women are dying in Texas by an increased rate of 56% from sepsis because of your pro-life laws. And you won't say a damn thing about people dying from guns. You won't fight for universal health care. You won't fight for affordable housing, but you'll fight for tampons and bathrooms. You'll demonize transgenders. Oh, there's 10 athletes that are transgender in college sports. Praise Jesus. What are you going to say? Have you even thought about this on Judgment Day? Because your day will come. You can own the libs all you want. You can laugh and think that you've won something, and you're going to stand before God. And he's going to point to all the children from Sandy Hook, Uvalde, the children that are now grown up from the Epstein files that you didn't believe, the 25 women that he assaulted that you didn't believe, E. Jean Carroll, Officer Sitnick that died. And he's going to say, I thought you were pro-life. You preached your whole life being pro-life. And the only thing you fought for was to control women's bodies. Why didn't you fight for any of these lives? Why didn't you fight for universal health care? Why didn't you fight for the environment? What are you going to say? But Jesus, I own the libs. I didn't vote for Pete Buttigieg because he's gay, Jesus. I did exactly what you told me. He told you to love your neighbor as yourself. And that's what this comes down to. You don't love thy neighbor. You only love thyself. You only vote for yourself. You only care about your bank account. You don't build your wealth in heaven. You build your wealth on earth. You don't serve an earthly king, a heavenly king. You serve an earthly king in Donald Trump. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot live in both light and darkness. You cannot say, go to church with F. Joe Biden and Joe and the Ho bumper stickers and say, praise Jesus, love my neighbor as myself because I'm pro-life. You cannot do that. You're hypocrites. That's what you are. You serve the prince of this world.
Bam.
Be better than that. Pull your heads out of your backsides. You're nothing more than modern day Pharisees. Your religious ideology crucified Jesus in the name of God because Jesus wouldn't conform to their religious ideology, just like you. But the difference is your religious ideology is white supremacy. That this country will vote for a rapist, a pedophile, a child molester, a convicted felon who causes an insurrection, who's literally burning democracy to the ground over the most qualified black woman. And until you come to grips with that, you can shove your gold cross right up your ass, because that's what it is. Faith without works. All you do is say a lot of things just like you're not patriots. You're nationalists. Having scripture in your bio, God first, America, flags, bald eagles, that's nationalism. It's like seeing the difference between religion and faith. Religion is quoting scripture. Faith is fighting for people in Minneapolis, giving people universal health care, fighting for gun reform. That is faith, and that is what you people don't have. That's why you're not people of faith, because faith without works is dead. Have a good day.
Will
Well,
somebody please say amen?
wow. Okay.
Okay, baby, he was speaking nothing but facts.
Nothing after facts. After facts. And I mean, you can't even what can somebody say, because they know exactly what he said
It's true.
was the truth. Right.
Yeah. And look at this right here about Kamala. It don't it and that's the whole thing about it. You know, Jesus don't care nothing about your color, because he's the one, you know, God is
They
the one that
created
made
every
you.
last one of them, right?
Yeah. So, you know,
Like he's gonna say that she's less
you can't go to
qualified
heaven.
because
You can't go to heaven because you're black and Asian.
right. You know
And
what
I
I'm
made you.
saying?
I made you, but I'm not gonna let you in heaven.
Right,
You know,
right.
like he like white people more than he like Asian and black Americans, you know, mixed people. Let's
But
put it
see,
that
they're
way.
starting to figure out that they don't even like themselves more
Right.
than the other races. It was a facade. It was a sham the whole time just to get them to stay in line, because they
Right.
obviously were the most economically advanced because
And,
of what, so it's better economically and for the business to stick
mhm,
with, the majority who have the most in terms of economic wealth.
right.
So yeah, y'all were just a business strategy the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And pinning y'all against us, that was just
Yeah.
good for business.
Because it keep you distracted, see. And the
Exactly.
whole thing about it also too, you know, you hit you hit the hammer right on you hit the nail right on the hammer, because it's a great distraction. And if you can feel vindicated and feel and they make you feel like you winning when you're really not winning, you're just as poor as everybody else, and you're going through just as much as everybody else going through. Um,
You
and you
just
see,
had more to mess over. Like you had
yeah,
more to
give
more
up.
wealth to fuck off
Hmm.
and give back to them.
Yeah.
You know.
And people don't like to be and the biggest thing in this is people do not like to be wrong. But you know, this is life. When you're walking this thing, this path called life, you're gonna make mistakes. You know, you're gonna, you know, some days you're gonna win and some days you're not gonna win. You know, it is what it is. And it's okay for you to say, hey, I made a mistake, or I had bad judgment, or, you know, I believed in this or that or the other, and now I see, you know, whatever. But, you know, they want to stay in the blind. They want to stay blind and they don't want to hear the facts.
Yeah,
And so
because
if
then
you
the
stay
truth,
willfully ignorant, then, you
right?
know,
You can continue thinking that you have a privilege
right.
that unfortunately in 2026, when you are now the minority, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying, in terms of race, which is the reason why they're so desperate to try to, get rid of all of the minorities and,
Mhm.
make force women, white women to have babies so that they could repopulate the white, population. But
Well,
y'all,
I just want to say this. If, you know, based on that point that you just made, if you get rid of all the minorities, then things are, you know, they think they're paying prices now. Everything is going to go up. And the minorities do contribute a lot to this economy.
I don't think they care about that part though, but I
Well,
think that they
they don't care, but the corporations care.
I think it's so funny though because these people are willing to give up their own rights,
Hmm.
to move a agenda that they think is going to in the end benefit them. They're willing to suffer all of the losses, the higher costs of living,
Hmm.
the higher interest rates, uh the harder access to credit because these people live off of credit.
Hmm.
But they're willing to make those sacrifices because they think that in the end, once it's all white supremacy, that they'll be able to go back to having their own liberties. But once you give them up, you give them up.
Hmm.
And once you are willing to give them up, and if he's successful in what he's trying to accomplish, you will be nothing but another minority to them,
Hmm.
because it's
Yeah,
not going to be about race
the poor is going to
anymore.
become a minority, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to
It's
be within
not
its own base. And they
exactly.
better be ready to work too, because if they get rid of all the minorities in America, then guess who got to do these jobs? You know.
They won't have a choice. They've given up their rights. They will
Oh,
have to do what the administration tells them to do. And
oh,
if they dissent, if they show dissent, then what will happen to them is they will experience the same fate that unfortunately Alex Preddy had to experience. They will experience the same fate that a mother who didn't even have a gun by
mm-hmm.
the name of Nicole Good, they would experience what she had to experience. So
Wow.
once they give up those rights, they're given up for good. There's no privilege anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You have to stay in line and do what you're told. So if you're ready for that, then by all means continue. But I think that a lot of people are waking up really and like, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, now
Slowly
there,
but surely, some are waking up to the reality of what's really going on. And, like he said, he was talking about Charlie Kirk, right?
mhm,
And, that was like their top person. And they're okay with him being gone too. Okay, we
yeah,
cried about him. He was here. He was a great person, but
yeah.
let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda. And it's just weird.
Well, I
It's
mean,
like that, like Charlie said, he had to die with the Second Amendment. He said that we needed, if people have to die because of the Second Amendment, then so be it. And
Despite the devastating loss of Charlie Kirk, my incredible husband at UVU, Caleb has persisted with the same gift. Grit. It has been a long day. Trust me, you're not a grifter, honey. It's all good.
Little Freudian slip there.
it's echoing.
oh, is that going? Oh, that's because
Yeah.
I have the presentation up. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, that was Erica Kirk. She knows that this is all a grift.
Mm-hmm. And it's
But
just, she's even acting weird, because if that was my husband and I had those little kids, I wouldn't, y'all wouldn't probably see me for about 5 or 6 months, I'm sure. But
she don't
whatever.
care. She got right back into it.
Yeah,
So
within a
let's
week she was his CEO of his company.
yeah, yeah.
Within a week she went took his place.
Well,
It's
Nick
like,
Fuentes,
lives are just tangible now. They are tangible. They're tangible good at this point, or
the whole
non-tangible.
side, yeah, the whole side is just they're I don't even know what to call them because they're definitely fake. None of them are real. They basically go with the whatever Trump says. So,
Hmm.
but Nick Fuentes, he's actually starting to no longer support Trump and what he's talking about. So this is
Mm.
one of the clips that you brought to my attention. So let's look at this.
You could take all your meta political victories and you could put them in a bag, and that and $1 will buy you a cup of coffee at McDonald's. It's worth nothing. You know what I want? I want my border wall. I want my 30-foot, 2,000-mile long concrete fucking border wall. What did he say in 2016? Does anybody even remember? Seriously. Think about how much you've been gaslit. Do you even remember that when Trump ran in 2015, 11 years ago, he said, we're going to build a big, tall, powerful, impenetrable border wall and Mexico will pay for it. Does anyone even remember that? Do you even remember?
I remember.
I remember.
Wall. Mexico will pay for that wall. The wall just got 10 feet higher. How are you going to get her to pay for it? I'm great at deals. People don't even, so many promises broken and forgotten. We don't even remember all of them. Trump was synonymous with border wall. Now people don't even know. They don't even remember. It's not there. It doesn't exist. We got 83 miles of 18-foot steel bollard fencing. He promised us 2,000 miles of 30-foot tall concrete wall. Okay, we played this game. Trump said in 2016, I'm going to build the wall and Mexico will pay for the wall. And it never happened because Republicans disobeyed him. They didn't give him the funding. They didn't follow through on it. And in the end, it's because they really didn't want to control illegal immigration. So they put together this Nikki.
I'm going to show y'all a video as to what they really like about this immigration thing and the reason why it's so beneficial for them. And it has nothing to do with immigration.
NAC, remain in Mexico, executive order architecture. And Biden undid it on day one with an executive order. And then we got 10 million illegals. Trump, once again, is swept into office by this groundswell of opposition to illegal immigration. He promises mass deportations. We're going to kick them all out. Pack your bags. You got 30 days. And they didn't even deport as many people as Obama in his first year in office.
Damn.
And they're already walking it back because they don't really want to deport all these illegals.
Nope.
You were tricked. People say, this isn't what I voted for. Yeah, it f***ing is. This is exactly what you voted for, you idiot. It was obvious. Trump and Vance were both saying this throughout 2024. Throughout 2024, the election, Trump said, we need the people. We need to let them come in. We need the people.
The fuck are we trying to make 20-something new detention camps or whatever they want to call them, deportation camps or what? If you deporting them, why do we need
why we need all these camps?
Get them out of here.
Leaving. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I see what the name of the game is.
We gonna figure it out by the end of the show though. So if y'all stick around, y'all definitely gonna see what the name of the game is.
And Nick telling them what the name of the game is.
Oh yeah, he keep putting you on game right now. He putting you on game.
Nick is cooking.
Yep.
We need them to work certain jobs. He promised David Sachs, I will staple green cards to diplomas. Whenever they were asked about the deportations, they would say, we're prioritizing criminals. We'll worry about everybody else later. It was clear as day. It was in black and white. It was obvious. You just did not want to listen because you wanted to believe. You were so caught up, so emotional, so involved in the groupthink, you didn't want to listen. You didn't want to see it. It was right in front of you, smacking you in the face. You didn't want to see it. And it was right in front of you all throughout last year.
Okay, I get the point Nick is trying to make here, and I kind of agree with him, but I don't know if it's fair to blame the people, because what other option did we have? Vote for Kamala Harris? Like, are you kidding me? What a joke. That was not even an option in my opinion. But yeah, I get the point. Like, Donald Trump promised us so much.
it wasn't an option, even though she had a resume that was much better than Donald Trump's. Even though
Hmm.
she wasn't a 34 count felon, it wasn't even an option for this white guy to
Right.
vote for Kamala. It wouldn't have even been, a thought.
Right.
This is the reason why we're in the situation that we're in.
Yeah, for people people who's thinking like
IQ levels
yeah,
are the same as this person who was obviously brain cell deficient because he couldn't make a critical analysis of the two candidates. He
right.
just said, period, she would have never ever been an option.
Uh-huh.
So it was only Trump for
Yeah,
him.
she wasn't an option, even though she was, like you're saying,
The
the
better
most
option.
yeah, the best option in my opinion.
Right.
Because you won't do. Should we go down the list?
Right.
Attorney General for California, a lawyer, a
Right.
senator, a
The
vice
vice
president.
president. Hello, like
And she worked at McDonald's. Agent Orange went and put a suit on and act like and pretended like he worked at McDonald's for one day.
So yeah, I mean, this is why we're in the situation we're in.
Right. Because of people like thinking like this.
He thinks, and he never delivered. So now, after all,
Pause
it
it one
turns
more
out he
time.
just
Pause
betrayed
it
his-
one more time. And shout out to Purge Viral. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Purge Viral if y'all like. This is his video, and we want to give him a shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
own base, and this is the reason why so many people there are so disappointed now. But can we blame these people because they really believe that he would give us America first politics, but he didn't? And yeah, this will probably also be the reason why we will lose the midterms. It's so sad, but I don't know if the people are responsible. I feel like this administration is responsible for this. The Trump-Stein administration, like, what a joke. They never delivered anything as what they promised us. They betrayed their own base, and this is the
And the funny thing is him having this accent.
Same thing I'm
Clearly,
thinking.
you
I'm like,
know,
dog, do you really want to be? Dog, do you really want to do this? Do you
how
really
he
want to be
gonna
talking like this?
critiquing us?
Right, right.
You know, and he done came over here
Baby,
off the
you better
grace of
listen.
yeah.
You better peep out your mini blinds before you walk out the house. I'm gonna just say that, okay?
Right,
Because them people
right.
probably out there waiting on you with this accent. The agents are probably circulating his house allegedly.
These people are insane.
Right.
reason why so many people there are so upset. But what other option did we have?
Well, now looky where we are. Looky where we are now. It's 2026, and it's already too late. It's the midterms. They are going to redistrict Virginia, and Republicans are going to lose 4 seats from that alone. And we're going to get slaughtered.
Bam.
So you think now there's going to be a big push for mass deportations? Good luck. You can't deport 750 people per day without getting riots and protests and body cameras, and they're defunding the fucking police over it. You're going to quadruple those numbers in a midterm, and what, the media is not going to catch it on camera, and you're not going to get any more dead communists to cry over? Forget it. And what do you think is going to happen when the Republicans lose the midterms? Not if, but when the Republicans lose the midterms. What do you think's going to happen? Well, you're going to get a lame duck from November to January. And then in January 2027, when the new Congress is seated, they will not fund DHS. They will not fund the government until we defund ICE. They're doing it already. They're showing us. We had the longest government shutdown in history last fall over a symbolic provision about healthcare credits, which they didn't even get. They just wanted to be uncooperative. Now we're getting another partial government shutdown of DHS.
They just wanted to be uncooperative.
Baby, Nick is breaking it down, though. He's spilling all the beans. He's spilling all the tea, the beans. I mean, he's telling the truth.
Right.
But I
right,
just can't believe he's just actually admitting it.
Right.
So I guess he ain't on the team no more.
I don't know what y'all thinking, MAGA. Y'all liking this? Y'all liking this in the way that Nick's posture is right now?
HS because Democrats want to force restrictions on ICE. That is when they are in the minority in both chambers. What happens when they have a majority in the House? They're going to shut down the government all the time. They're going to impeach everybody, investigate everybody. The work of this administration will grind to a halt.
Right.
Because they will be distracted. They will be out of energy. Their personnel will be involved in this. They will not be able to get anything through Congress. And if anything, Congress will impose restraints on everything that they do legislatively. So you think you're getting it in 2026? Not going to happen. You think you're going to get it in 2027 when the Democrats have half of the divided government? Not going to happen. 2028? Who even fucking cares at that point? And I told you it would be like this. Now all the Republicans are already saying, well, hey, everybody, let's get everything back on track in 26. Get it back on track. This is supposed to be the golden age. Huh?
Huh?
You know, 2016, we're going to make America great again. 2018, hey, we need more seats in the House. 2020, we got to keep America great and, you know, like finish the wall and stuff. 2022, we got to hold the line, stop the Democrats in their tracks. 2024, all right, this time a golden age, this time for real. 2026, well, nevertheless, we got to get them back on track. Another vote. Imagine still playing this game. Dude, these people. This administration, people say, you want to burn it all down? Yeah, I do. People say, you want to burn it all down just so you could rule over the ashes.
Oops.
See, you don't seem to have much of an imagination. I want to burn you to the ground.
Oh.
You will be turned into ashes. We will still be very much intact. People say he just wants to burn it all down so he could rule over the ashes and whatever's left. No, you got it wrong. We want to burn you to the ground. We want to burn the Republican Party to the ground. That's not us. We want to burn you and this administration and all these criminals that are stealing from the government, all the liars that made false promises, all these people that buried the files, brought us to war in Iran, failed on deportations. We want to burn you to the ground. We want to destroy your careers.
Bro, what? Wow, man, very powerful message. And maybe it sounds a little bit rude, but I mean, like, I kind of agree with Nick. Like, come on, what is going on? This is not what is going on now with this administration is not what the people voted for. This is the opposite is what people voted for. Like, this administration turned out to be one big joke. Meanwhile, Donald Trump said that he was different than all these other politicians, that he would actually care about the people in his country. He doesn't. He doesn't. And maybe it turns out that he is even worse than all these other politicians. Let the mass deportations be another example. Are you kidding me? Barack Obama deported more people than this administration. And the majority of the people voted for this administration to give us mass deportations. And they're not even doing this. And this is just another example. I'm not even going to talk about the wall, or Nick did already. I'm not even going to talk about the prices. Like, what a joke. This whole administration, excuse me for my little rant, but I wish I could say something else. But Donald Trump, like, no one is happy now. Long story short, the Democrats are obviously not happy, and the Republicans, they're not even happy now. So I don't know what this administration is doing now, but no one is happy with this administration. Like, what?
I can tell you what they're doing. They trying to pit us against each other so we could be distracted at the fact that we ain't got no more money in our bank accounts.
Right.
That, you know, our businesses aren't growing. In fact, our businesses are having to get shut down. That the cost of living is still going up. That the entry into purchasing a house has increased to in your 40s for the average American citizen. I mean, that's what they're trying to keep us distracted from. That's why they want us to continue fighting each other.
And let's not talk about the health care that's done went up 3 times.
And it's the crazy thing about it, when you think of a MAGA supporter and somebody who's actually, you know, thinking that this is good, that what they're doing, it couldn't be even it's so pathetic because these people are the reason why they look so pathetic. No one told them they had free reign to go out and do the mass deportations in a way where they could have set world records. He could have set a
Mm-hmm.
world record if he would have just stuck to the playbook and just got it done legally and enforced these thousands and thousands of agents that he said was supposed to be for deporting people, but now they're literally just going around terrorizing, you know, citizens of the American public. And not only that, I mean, this is literally what they're doing all day.
Right. Terrorizing America. It's
They don't
basically
even
what
have
they're doing.
time to go and do deportations. But if they would have just did it lawfully, they could have set. They still haven't even deported as many, based on what Nick Fuentes is saying. They still haven't even deported as many people as Obama did.
Right.
But with probably triple the budget. But you know where that budget is going to? Terrorizing American citizens
And building new detention centers.
and building new detention centers and violating Americans' rights.
Without body cams. They said they got 3,000 cams and 13,000 employees. So do
No
the
one
math
t-
on that.
Did anybody tell Trump to release a racist post about the Obamas? No.
Mm-mm.
He do that stupid stuff.
Right.
Did anybody tell MAGA to go up against the Super Bowl halftime show? No. They did that stupid ass shit. And then they get mad when they get proven. Did anybody tell the Trump administration, the DOJ, to go and put forth all these frivolous lawsuits that keep getting thrown out in court? No. But they keep making themselves look like asses every chance that they get. So how can people be like, go Trump, when they're just exposing their incompetence at every opportunity that they have? Because nobody is forcing this incompetence to come out. They
Right.
are voluntarily showing us how incompetent they are.
But Trump is you're saying nobody is telling them to do that. You mean, the
Like
American
on the
public?
left, right?
Yeah, on the left. But Trump is telling all of these ideas are Trump ideas. Agent Orange don't want to listen to anybody. He don't want to get no help. He said it on the campaign though, but he told them on the campaign, only me, only I, and I can fix it alone. I can fix everything. Remember, he was gonna have the war done in one day.
Right. Same day he got it out.
First day he get in office, the Ukraine war and Russian war gonna be over with. All in one day before he can even get his curtains measured up.
Right.
But at the end of the
One thing
day,
he has managed to do before he got any of the wars finished, he did manage to get a $400 million plane
right.
that's gonna cost the American public $1 billion to retrofit.
Uh-huh.
He did manage to amass about $3 billion in wealth in this crypto
That ain't bad.
scheme. I mean, his business venture, I guess. So yeah, I mean, he
And
did
the
a lot of
kids hey, don't forget about the kids. The kids getting rich too. The whole family getting rich.
yeah. So
Allegedly. But
Trump
Nick
is
is
always right. You're right, Trump. In his mind, he is
Yeah,
always right. But
yeah.
you want to know the problem with him being always right? Nobody wins when him
Right.
being right. Like you would,
Like Nick said, this supposed to be the golden age.
right. He's the only
Golden
one
time of
winning.
day.
He's the only one winning.
It's only golden for him, but no one else.
We want to live under gold too.
Yeah, we want to
You
live
know?
our golden best life also. But he the only one living his golden best life because no one like Nick and this guy said, this viral guy here, Purge viral. No one is happy. Anytime you see the Republicans, like they got all three houses, they should be happy. They should be just pushing legislation through. Trump shouldn't have to write not one executive order, not a one. He got a house that does everything he say he do everything he say he want. He has a Senate that does everything he want. He got the Supreme Court under his belt. and they, pretty much give him what he want also. So I don't understand why rule by executive order when the next president just can come in there and just, zap all of that out the way, just undo everything that he's done.
Exactly.
Why not put these bills on the floor, have people, vote on them and make it a bill and make it a law? That way, when the next person come in, they got to do the same thing. They got to get everybody on board and say, well, we don't agree with this law. So not only do the president not agree with it, the Congress has to not agree with it. Just do things in order and in decent, and you really can get more accomplished.
Absolutely.
And leave the legacy that you say that you're trying to leave. But the way he's doing things,
it's got to be like a part of the agenda. The maybe he's trying to condition us into this extreme behavior that he's, this dictator, and we have to kind of get used to what it feels like to be under a dictatorship. So he has to go with these extreme tactics.
But why
kind of get
build
us
the
in
foundation?
line.
But why build the foundation on sand?
Yeah, I mean, he thinks that it's solid because he has the military and he's willing to use the military against the civilians. So he says, y'all don't have a chance against the military. So, if y'all could play crazy if y'all want.
Okay.
But
Well, so far he's been losing. So I'm a bet on the military. How about that? I'm a bet on the military. Gonna listen to that commercial that we're gonna talk about later on in the show, and I'm gonna put my bet on the military and their ethics and their values and their morals, because some of them in there have that.
Yep. And we're gonna have to lean on that.
Joke, and the people that literally had their last hope for this administration to actually care about the United States of America, to actually care about the American people, but they don't. What a joke. And then they are surprised that so many people, they are so mad now, they are so disappointed because they didn't listen to us.
We want to primary you, we want to fire you, and then we want to build a different party. Anything would be better than this. You have had your chance. In 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Now they want another vote in 26.
Anything, baby.
On lock in 2028.
Yeah.
Let's try something different. Let's fire you. Let's burn you to the ground. And maybe this time you're going to be the sucker. Because every time we go and vote, you get privileges.
Yeah.
You get patronage, contracts.
Yeah.
You get to skim.
Yeah.
You get to graft off of the movement, and we get f***ed. We get 600,000 Chinese students. We get 130,000 H-1B Indians. We get another $20 billion to Israel.
Deal with it.
230,000
That's what y'all
deportations.
wanted.
Maybe it's your turn to get f***ed.
That's what y'all wanted.
You've been burning us
mad,
to the
ain't
ground.
Okay.
For 35 years.
Man.
You burned us to the ground in 86 with the amnesty, in 1990 with the Immigration Act, in 2003 with the war in Iraq, in 2008 with the bailout, in 2018 when you couldn't cough up $1.3 billion for a border wall. You've been burning the country to the ground. Maybe it's time for you to burn to the ground. And I would gladly rule over whatever is left after that. Gladly. Better than this. So they're always saying that, well, what are you going to do? Are you going to burn it all down? Yeah, I think I'm ready to do that. I'm ready to burn down everybody that isn't Thomas Massey. End of list. I'm ready to burn down every Republican that has been complicit in this. Stephen Miller is retweeting Lindsey Graham. Wake up. Hello. Stephen Miller is retweeting Lindsey Graham. And by the way, if Stephen Miller and JD Vance were so fucking great, then why can't they get the job done? Huh? All the propaganda on Twitter, all of this paid influencing campaigns to promote Stephen Miller and JD Vance. Hey, if they're so great, why can't they get the job done? Trump is 100 years old. What is their excuse? Trump is 90. He's falling asleep in meetings. He's obviously
Trump
out
90 and
to lunch.
100.
Yes,
What is their
I
excuse?
love
Isn't Miller
it.
supposed to be our base Jew? Isn't Vance supposed to be our based Halo, Code Red Mountain Dew drinking savior? Where are they?
What? He is on fire.
They say, trust the plan, trust in Miller, trust in Vance. They'll get it done. Really? Well, where are they? We're going to vote for them in 2028. What are they going to do then that they can't do now? You are there now.
Right.
You're in the White House now. You can make the change right now. If you can't, you got no business being there.
Period.
If you won't, then you should have never been there in the first place.
Period.
Either way, people say we're going to need Vance to, keep up the good work. Dude, it's a joke. It's a disaster.
Good work.
And here's going to be the delicious irony, and I can't wait for this. Peter Thiel and Little Tech and CIA Tucker Carlson with the CIA daddy, Dick Carlson, that ran Voice of America, that is in bed with Hungary and Israel-backed NGOs. Yeah, Tucker Carlson, who's hanging out in the Gulf. Tucker, who's hanging out in Russia. Tucker's best friend, J.D. Vance. Peter Thiel's sugar baby. They thought that...
Not Peter Thiel,
Peter
sugar
Thiel,
baby.
sugar baby.
Wait a minute. We're not going to just escape by... What? Is there some, something there that we need to unpack?
Feel like I got some research ahead of me.
Okay.
by putting him in the sidecar for Trump was going to guarantee his ascension in 2028. I'm sure that when Trump tapped him to be the VP in 2024, they were clinking their glasses and saying cheers to the 48th president of the United States, our puppet, J.D. Vance.
Our puppet.
What they didn't count on is that Trump ruins everything that he touches. They thought that Trump would be a Trojan horse. Trump would be a vehicle to propel Vance. Trump is Vance's tomb. Trump, and this second term, this is J.D. Vance's mausoleum. This is where J.D. Vance for president went to fucking die. Maybe...
As well as the Republican Party.
All right.
Arguably, he could have been a contender if he was in the Senate for a little while longer, built up his record, maybe put some time in, maybe did some actual work. They really thought they were going to put him next to Trump, and this was going to be his Disney fast pass to the presidency, and then they could get all their contracts for Anduril and SpaceX and OpenAI and Palantir and all that garbage.
Disney fast track.
Bombs. They would get everything that they
Disney
wanted.
fast track.
Charter City in Greenland and wherever. And instead, Trump is an albatross. He is dragging Vance to hell with him. The failure, the vaporware, the scam that is Trumpism, it is dragging J.D. Vance right to hell with this whole sick f***ing thing.
Go Trump.
Of course, because Donald Trump betrays almost everyone around him. Like, how many examples do we now have already from people who were very close with Donald Trump? For example, Thomas Mann.
Now, the funny thing about listening to this is this guy is obviously a Trump supporter who's doing this commentator, and he knows. He just admitted Trump fucks over everybody around him.
But yet and still, he still votes for him.
See, so that's what I'm saying. They know.
Yeah, they know. They knew when they went into the booth.
Yeah.
What they was voting for.
They knew what they was voting for.
They were very close with Donald Trump, but now they want to stay as far away from him, or Donald Trump wants to stay as far away from them because they just have different opinions than Donald Trump. And this means if someone has a different vision, a different opinion than Donald Trumpstein, then you will literally get into trouble. And this means that J.D. Vance, aka J.D. Plant, is just a puppet of Donald Trump because he has to say and do exactly the same things what Donald Trump wants. And this also means that if you really think that J.D. Vance is going to be our next president, that will just be a Trumpstein administration 2.0. So what is the difference then?
Trumpstein.
And exactly what Nick just said here. If they cannot even solve any problems now, if JD Vance is not doing anything good for our country now, what makes you think that he will actually like solve these problems in our country if we make him the next president? Believe me, I mean, like, decide this for yourself, but I think it's not a smart idea to vote for JD Vance, aka JD Plant.
And that is the most delicious irony of it all. That's the best part of the whole thing. It's going to be a long ways to go. We got a lot of game left to get to 2028, and it's not getting better. One disaster after the next. No mass deportations. This big, beautiful bill, which is so unpopular and a disaster. This AI regulation moratorium they keep trying to force. All these Chinese students, Indian H-1B workers. Bombing Iran not once but twice. Ukraine war still going on. The job market's terrible. Software industry is taking a dive. Bitcoin is down 50%. Epstein files have exposed all your cronies, Howard Lutnick and Peter Thiel and Reid Hoffman and the Israelis and Trump and the rest of them.
The whole cabinet.
And it's only February 2026. We got a long ways to go. You know what I can't wait for? I cannot wait.
Before he even said, is this all the winning that the Republicans said that they was going to be getting when they get Trump in the office? Is this part of all the winning that they was going to be winning so much that they was going to be tired of winning? Is this all that winning that they was referring to?
Well, according to Nick, it's not a win. According to Nick Fuentes, it's not a win. And I'm pretty sure, with the 56% disapproval and 37% approval, I don't think the American public is, feel like they're winning either.
No, we don't feel like we winning either.
No, nobody is winning. Like he said, the only person that's winning
is Trump.
There you have it.
For the Democrats to take the House, they subpoena and investigate Kristi Noem, Lauren, and Corey Lewandowski, and they find so much corruption. It's going to make the impeachments during Trump 1 look like a joke. All that stuff about Paul Manafort and the business documents and the Ukrainian phone call. The corruption that they will discover when the Democrats are in the House, it's going to make all that stuff look like a joke. And they're just going to keep stacking it up on top of Vance. We're going to be in our war with Iran. The Middle East is going to be a mess. The economy is going to be a mess. The Trump administration is corrupt. He might even be impeached. You are f***ed. And we are not going to bail you out. Sorry. 2026, I'm telling people to stay home. You know what my message is in 2026? Stay home. We got to vote to get back on track. Fuck you. And the guy that posted it, I like the guy. It's not directed at him, but that sentiment, we got to get everybody back on track. Go f yourself. You told us when we wanted the Epstein files, we don't need your votes anymore. Hey, wish granted. Remember that?
Yep.
Remember in July of 2025 when
you
Trump
only
said,
have to
if
vote
you want
one more
the Epstein
time.
files, you're not a real supporter. I don't want your vote. Hey, wish granted, pal. Wish granted. You wanted it. You got it. You want to get it back on track? Good luck. Call Netanyahu. That's the part that I love. They sell us out. H-1B visas galore. Student visas galore, no mass deportations, burying the Epstein files. I think Bill Clinton's a great guy. And then in 26, they're going to be begging us for the vote. Hey, guys, we need your help. You know, President Trump needs more seats to keep the agenda going. You know what I have to say about that? Majority in 2026, you're worried about losing the House.
Hey,
why don't you ask Bill Clinton for his vote then?
Come vote for us, please.
Ask Bill Clinton. Ask those 600,000 Chinese students. Ask the H-1B workers. Ask the Israelis. Ask Netanyahu for a vote. You gave Netanyahu $20 billion. Ask him to vote for you.
Oh, hey.
You gave Wall Street
He telling you everything.
corporate tax cut extension. Why don't you ask them for the
He
vote?
might be the
You know,
next Charlie
ask
Kirk.
them. Go and
The
bother
way he
them with your
cooking.
campaign ads. Don't bother us, because we still have illegal immigrants in our cities. We still have rampant crime in our cities. The job market still sucks. We're not richer. Our purchasing power has not increased. Go ask somebody else, because we are not interested. We do want to burn it all down. Correct. You don't want our vote? Wish granted. You're not getting it this time. 2028, if you can feel the candidate that is America first, if you can feel the candidate that is not a fat, disgusting pig, if you can feel the candidate that is like MAGA,
Not a
OG,
fat-
America first, consider it, maybe.
Okay, guys, I get it. I'm also frustrated. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's time now. We should stop complaining a little bit, and we should start actually thinking about how are we gonna solve these kind of problems. Because if we gonna continue complaining over and over again, the problems will become bigger and it will not solve anything. So what are we actually gonna do?
Well, I think you're a little too late, sir, because the Democrats have already been planning and organizing and executing.
And how you gonna solve the problem when the whole party is the problem? Like
The whole
Nick
party.
said,
Throw
all
it
of it
away.
need to be revamped.
Burn down.
Burn it down.
Right.
But
So,
you ready to go to the next one, or you want to
yeah,
continue
we
with
can
Nick?
go ahead
Yeah,
and
because
so this one is about the Turning Point USA. They gained 1 million subscribers from their half point show or halftime alternative show that they did for the Super Bowl. And so they're having a debate on this looks like Fox News show where they're trying to figure out if that's a win for the Republican and for the MAGA party, or you know is it like, no, you don't get to move the goalpost. You thought that you were going to shut the Super Bowl down, and
wow.
you didn't even come close to
Mm-mm.
shutting anything down. In fact, you gave them the highest viewer count that they've ever had in the Super Bowl history. Does that mean that you got the L? Even if you got 1 million subscribers out the deal, you thought that you were going to go against the Super Bowl and you failed miserably. So
Right. And
that
it wasn't even a live show. It was a tape show. So that they basically scammed the people.
yeah, yeah. But they're talking about this as a win. So let's look at this little clip and we can discuss it along the way. Oh, um, maybe I can go back.
You went over too far.
Well, let me try. This is what you said with the
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right,
But
we're
yeah,
gonna play right now.
It's getting ready to play.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
Well, let's talk about. We can at least while I figure that part out.
Okay. We can just go ahead and go to the next slide.
Yeah.
Let's just go into the next one. It's all good. They all around the same thing.
All right. So let's talk about this post with Donald Trump. So I mean, it would actually been good if I could see that video, but let's see here. All right, guys. So I know a lot of people already saw this and we've already been talking about it, but I think that it's worth us having another conversation about it because if we really think about this in comparison to all, on top of all of the crazy things that Donald Trump has done and the timing, what do you think about him releasing this post depicting, you know, the Obamas as apes?
Well, it just show you his mindset, who he really is, and how low he will go. Um, once again, Obama still living rent free in his head, and I don't know why he's so infatuated with Obama. He hasn't been in office for the last 10 years. It's been a decade since he was in office, and I just think he's jealous of Obama. He can't make the accomplishments and be the great scholar that Obama is, and it's just taking him out. That he doesn't have the education or the decor or the grace, the professionalism. He can't compare himself
The
to Obama.
intellect,
The
yeah,
intellect, yeah, the intellect kills him the most.
right, right. And it's this is such a low thing for a human being to do,
Hmm.
that for this to be the president of the United States.
Hmm.
And when I see something like this, I automatically think somebody with low brain cell count, right? Somebody that probably isn't very intelligent, somebody that's probably a hillbilly that, probably sleeps with their cousin. This is what
Right.
I think about when I see people who post stuff like this, because what intellectual human being with brain cells would look at this and as a 100-year-old man and say, "Let me post this."
Yeah, they wear makeup and a wig.
Like, even if you was 15 and posted this, I would say you were ignorant and stupid and lack, good upbringing, or any values or anything. But for you to be 160 years old
And
and
still this
post,
childish.
you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, Nick
So
said he 100. Then he said he was 90. So Nick really got. I'm thinking Trump gonna be pretty mad at this clip when if he ever see that Nick Fuentes clip on Twitter, he's gonna be pretty pissed about that because Nick was breaking it all the way down.
right, right. And then the fact that he posts this on
Right.
the month of Black History. I mean, to me, people could believe that this was a slip up or accident, or his staffer actually posted this. But no, this is just how.
No, 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 no. He said he did not make a mistake. He was not going to apologize, and it took him 12 hours to take it down. So, whether a,
Right,
and a staffer is not up posting for him at 1:30, that's him. We know he's up in the middle of the night posting all the time, and he posts everything else. So, why all of a sudden a staffer is going to post for him allegedly? And so, I don't believe that. I believe he posted it. Okay, that's just my opinion.
and why can't
And
you just apologize
and why you just can't be a man and say, "Yeah, I did it." If you did it, you did it. Say it
and
with your chest out.
apologize to? But I mean, you are the president, so if you
Right,
offended any population of the American public, you should apologize for that, regardless if you thought that you was in the right or not, or you
right.
didn't do nothing or not. You should take ownership like a true leader would do.
Mhm.
Leaders don't go around saying it was their fault, it was their fault. No, leaders and real boss take ownership and take accountability.
Mhm.
And you can't even do that. You make yourself and your administration look, again, pathetic. And this is what people are talking about. This isn't a cute look just because you decided to double down on being a racist. And then we have this person, Kid Rock, who was the entertainment for the Turning Point USA halftime show. We have this joke talking about Jay-Z being a DEI hire. They are so pressed about the damn Super Bowl that is insane. Is
Right.
this Super Bowl derangement syndrome?
But they
Because
had
what
the
is going on?
alternative. But they had the alternative plan. Just do
And
your
they still can't
alternative
be
and be
happy.
happy. Yeah, change. They
Yeah.
still got what they wanted, and they still can't be
And
happy.
they still whining.
Because they didn't win.
Yeah, because they really rather be on the Super Bowl stage than on that makeshift Turning Point bullshit ass stage that can't even keep up with a lip syncing.
That part.
Oh, all right. Let me take this down, and I'm just gonna have to re-sign in or something.
What do you keep doing?
I don't know. I thought I was just playing it. I put the thing in.
Whenever you put it on there, it goes out.
I don't know
Yeah,
what's going on. But this what I'm about to do.
you're just gonna come in again.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna kind of talk about it before you play the video.
Okay.
Yeah, for them to have to, Kid Rock is their go-to. It seems like they can't get anybody else to perform for them other than Kid Rock, who is washed up, and nobody even hardly listens to him anymore. And at the end of the day, they didn't give that 1 million subscribers that they got. That doesn't compare to the 128 million people that watched the halftime show.
Right.
And how prejudiced can you be to want to put a whole show on just because you're not you don't like the performer? If you don't like the performer, well then just don't watch it. Normally that's when people go get a fill up, go to the store, go do what they have to do if they don't want to watch the halftime show or what have you. And so I didn't see what the big deal was. No, I didn't understand what he was singing, but he still put on a show. And music really don't
I
have
had fun
limits.
listening to it. I mean, there was actually a point where I would actually be listening to like the reggaeton
Mm-hmm.
type music. Like there was a point where I used to listen to that stuff. Didn't know what I was listening to, but I enjoyed the little.
Right. The
And I
music sound good to it.
right.
And music is music.
And
And
I think that's what
people
a lot of
overseas,
people.
but it's people overseas listen to our music and they don't understand what we're saying. I wonder, do people think about that also? It's other countries that don't speak English, but they listen to Beyonce, they listen to Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande. They listen to our artists. And sometimes our artists go to other countries and the country can't even understand what they're, saying, but they all at the concert.
Right. Right. I mean, that's the reason why Bad Bunny is literally the most streamed artist in the world. So I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody in the damn world don't speak Spanish and understand what he's saying. So I mean, it's obvious that he, to some degree, was liked beyond just the language of his music. So let's
Yeah,
see.
everything have to be MAGA. Everybody they gotta get their way. They're nothing but some whiny little babies, and you know, they want their way, and then when they don't get their way, they kick and scream like a 2-year-old. You know, that's just the normal behavior for them. Or they'll put insult. They'll insult you. They never have any. Like I said, they never have any solutions. The only solution they have is an insult or screaming and hollering about something that don't really matter that much.
What let's see here. Sorry guys. I thought that I said what I said. We was gonna try it this way today just so I could see if this would work. With these links. But it's always a learning lesson.
Right.
Nothing I'm not prepared for. So we're
Well,
gonna
it's always an alternative plan.
so
Just
what
got
we're
to.
gonna do, yeah, we're gonna um I wanna say we could play it. Let's see here.
Or you could just share the slides, can't you?
Yeah. Alright, here we go. We're gonna play, this is the Fox version. Let me go ahead and put this up.
Okay.
Alright. Oh, it's still not working. Oh, child. I think I'm just gonna have to. We're gonna have to use the regular website where there's a few ads. That's what I was trying to avoid.
Oh, okay.
But we're gonna have to just go with the ads today. Okay.
Oh, they're not that long. They're only a few seconds, so it'll be all right.
So he goes like, well, maybe Jay-Z will do it, which nothing against Jay-Z. I respect him for his hustle and, his music. But it seems like there's a little bit of a DEI hire there going on, to kind of like, oh, black guys love Jay-Z. And of course, I'm not that ignorant. I know a lot of us love Jay-Z, not just black guys. But in the league where you have this problem, it seemed like, we'll bring him in. And so, Jay-Z's not going to take that position of power and that money. So, then they convened in a not-for-profit league until, they quietly got rid of that tax exempt status at some point. So Roger did not have to disclose his salary.
I mean, and don't they just sound like two gossiping women?
Mm-hmm. That's highly obsessed. And they ain't talking about the NFL league.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be when the NFL been going on since 1947 or something like that.
And this DEI hire Jay-Z got them the most views that they've gotten in the NFL the Super Bowl history. So I mean, DEI, but when you look at is he insinuating that he's more qualified for Jay-Z's position than Jay-Z is?
I guess.
I mean, what are we saying here?
I don't.
So he had all sorts of problems.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So he brings in Jay-Z.
The always pathetic Kid Rock is back at it again, calling Jay-Z a DEI hire. At this point, just say the word, man. Let's not forget the DEI hire.
And y'all know the word that he really want to say. Replace DEI hire with.
Yeah, we know it's a dog whistle.
But on the biggest halftime show ever seen, with a reported 135.4 million views. Meanwhile, Kid Rock's performance on Turning Point USA's alternative halftime show not only saw audio and video errors, but he was lip syncing. There were even reports of extras being hired. I mean, what leg does this guy have to stand on? The TikTokers weren't having it.
Jay-Z is not qualified. Jay-Z, who was named one of the best rappers of all time by Billboard and Vibe. Jay-Z, the 25-time Grammy Award winner. Mind you, Kid Rock has 5.
I fact-checked that. Kid Rock has 0 Grammys.
Right.
0.
And the football began in 1939. Not 40, but 1939 when they started putting it on television. So, hell out of here with all of that.
Sometimes you got to just fact-check some of these people.
The Songwriters Hall of Fame and Rock Hall of Fame. You know where Kid Rock is not inducted? The Rock Hall of Fame. And also Jay-Z, the richest musician. And let's not forget that he was a co-founder of Rockefeller Records. He's the founder of Rock Nation, and he was the CEO of Def Jam Records. That Jay-Z. If he's not qualified, then who is? Mind you, Kid Rock didn't even manage to make it to the US Spotify Daily Top Artist chart after being the headliner at the All-American Super Bowl halftime show. But you know who's occupying the top 7 spots on the global Spotify chart? Bad Bunny, following his halftime performance. Privilege be having y'all thinking that you are the expert of everything. Meanwhile, you're not even qualified to participate in this conversation.
Damn.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working
Emmys for dude? That feels like way too many. Others laughed at the hypocrisy.
This is actually a really helpful example because I think it captures so well what people are talking about 99% of the time when they're whining about DEI hires. It's somebody like Kid Rock thinking they deserve to be as successful as somebody like Jay-Z. Delusion.
Exactly.
And then they find a way to convince themselves that it's a mass conspiracy of which they are the victim. That's the only explanation for why they don't have the things that they want that they see people of color have.
First and foremost, Kid Rock, that was not a halftime show. It was a concert that was just held while the halftime show was going on, okay? Because it did not air on NBC. It did not air between the two halves of the football game. So it is just a concert that happened. So let's not call it a halftime show because that's not what it was. Bad Bunny was the halftime show. Second, I'm looking at the comments and I see some girl comment about how she watched the Kid Rock show and she loved his message about, not separating it by politics and spread love and blah, blah, blah. And I said, first of all, that's hypocritical that he would say that
on his face, simply because why, if you was wanted to spread love and unity and all that stuff, why not just let people enjoy the damn halftime show?
And why try to tear down a legend?
Right.
To make yourself look good.
Right.
When you can't even compare.
Call it Jay-Z a DEI hire, but you trying to talk about love and unity, man.
Right. He the DEI hire.
He's definitely the DEI hire.
Right.
On so many levels, but also hypocritical that you would also praise that. That's the same message Bad Bunny was praising, except he meant it. Because lest we forget, the reason that Kid Rock show even happened was because of hate. That show happened because of division. They were so angry. They called it un-American. But he is from Puerto Rico, which is an American territory. Do we not forget? Who deserves statehood? That's a whole other conversation. There are Americans. About 14% of Americans speak Spanish. It kills me that these people are here praising Kid Rock for this message that is, I'm like, do you see the hypocrisy? Are you that ignorant?
In short, yes, they are that ignorant. The critics were out in full effect.
He's talking about, drugs and drinking and being an outlaw, but at the same time, we're doing this like Blue Lives Matter stuff. And then we're worried about like Jay-Z and Epstein Island, but it's like, have you read the lyrics to a Kid Rock song? He wants to screw underage kids. It is explicit in his music, right?
Yes.
And he talks about like, having affairs and cheating. And it's like, these are the things that when conservatives complain about hip hop, that they talk about hip hop glorifying.
Correct.
And like, hip hop is a broad genre. It does a million different things. So it's unfair. But like, you are highlighting it center stage and then going into Charlie Kirk talking about his like in a bunch of very edited clips where the editing is pretty poor and you hear like they're not letting the ends of syllables occur, whatever. And it goes into that, and it's just like this confused messaging where they build all of these grievances together, which have contradictory visions of American values, and paste them together into one show. Where, Sarah in the live chat is talking about Benito's message. Very, very consistent theming, wonderful message, incredible stagecraft and cinematography. But like, when near the end of the set, it's a song about believing in yourself, or he's just speaking directly to the camera. Honestly, I'm here because I believed in me. You should believe in yours.
And rightfully so. By the way, I interviewed people on my independent show about, hey, how do you feel about this whole Turning Point USA thing? And Erica Kirk and even Bad Bunny. Check it out over there because that was fun.
So let's talk about Turning Point USA, the all-American halftime show featuring Kid Rock. It looked to me, you can confirm this, but it looked to me like he was lip syncing half the time.
You think?
Okay, I just want to be, just want to be sure that I'm accurate.
No, unquestionably. Now, the second song he performed, which was a cover, a pretty religious song actually, that he was definitely singing live, or almost definitely. But his hit "Ball with Dobwa," I think that's how you say it, unquestionably lip singing and not really trying.
Yeah, he felt
looked like he was.
it in.
Yeah, very much so. It was, it was very different. It was certainly counter programming. But it was, it was almost more Southern rock than country music, a lot of it. And again, it's sort of like red meat rock sound of the early aughts and even the 70s. If that's what somebody wanted, they got it.
The awful announcing, ironically,
that's funny.
Despite TPUSA
that's what
pushing
they
its
wanted, they
halftime
got it.
show as the more family-friendly one focused on American values, it featured several performers promoting drinking, cursing, lyrics showing divisiveness, and Bunny's performance is all about uplifting others, including bringing cultures together.
All right, well,
shout out to the recount for the first clip and to CBS News for the second clip. Absolutely.
What do you guys think? Do you think that this was a failed attempt of Turning Point USA to try to make it seem like the Super Bowl is now because it's not, because immigrant that's not an immigrant but an American citizen is actually performing for the Super Bowl in a language that majority of us are familiar with. We've come in contact on a daily basis with people who speak this language. Y'all don't think that, do y'all think that Turning Point was that a success, or what do you guys think?
Well, I'm gonna tell you what I think. Half of America didn't even know Puerto Rico was a territory of America. They didn't know that this guy was, really an American, and that Puerto Rico pay taxes. Just
It
like
definitely exposed a lot of our ignorance.
right, like every other state do in America. And so I just think it's just another way to be racist and to try to separate themselves. And, just like, somebody put in the chat a while ago, well, who else were we going to vote for? Even like the viral guy, the Purge viral guy. Well, who else was I going to vote for? As if Kamala Harris wasn't a viable choice.
Right.
And so they rather burn it down to the ground, live at the lowest common denominator, because that's basically where everybody's going to. It's going to be two classes, either rich or poor. And they rather be extremely poor and live this crazy life where you can just actually go outside your front door and may not be able to come back in it, depending on who you encounter in the streets, while you're outside. You know what I mean? And so whether it be a mass gunman or ICE or whoever decide to take your life, because life is not precious anymore and no one cares about life anymore. Okay.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Only when you're getting pregnant, that's the only time they care about life. But after you have that baby, they could care less about what happened to you when you go outside, or when your
If
baby
you're
gets
able
old
to
enough.
feed it, or
Yeah.
they don't care about none of that
Now,
part.
they don't care about your baby getting shot up at school or none of that, or at the church house or at the store or none of that. Just have one. That's all they care about.
And
But
keep it.
it's just all crazy, and for people to idolize this type of behavior, because Kid Rock, you heard what the song said. The song was talking about the same stuff that was going on Epstein's Island. He talked about messing with underage girls.
Right.
That was what was in his song. They were drinking and partying and just doing all kind of vile things, talking about drugs. And a few
Well,
moments later, Bad Bunny talking about peace and harmony. So who
right.
really is the culprit? Who really is the culprit? Who really is the bad guy? And who really is winning? I think it's more people who want to be on the side of positive than they would of negative.
I mean, you saw the message that he left at the end of his show. He said, what was it? Nothing beats hate but love, or something.
Yeah.
So I mean, you guys see the message of unity that he was sharing, and we saw what Kid Rock gave us.
All right.
So you guys you have to make the determination as to whether or not you feel like Bad Bunny was a better representation
Of
of
America.
America, or if Kid Rock and his message is more representative of the American values.
So,
But since we're talking about Epstein, we do have the hearing that Pam Bondi attended.
okay.
And so I went ahead and hurried up and downloaded it while we were talking, so we can watch it together. Oh, let me take that down, and let's watch Jasmine, because she definitely gave Miss Bondi.
They take her to the cleaners.
Okay,
Read her rights.
see, Bondi, she was ready to come there and be disrespectful. She was real disrespectful during this hearing, but
They always are. The whole administration is disrespectful. And also, too, if you live in Texas, don't forget we're going to have early voting next week. Y'all, shout out to Jasmine for being on the ticket. So she's running for Senate. So you guys make sure that you
go out
exercise
and
your right
vote.
to vote and go out and vote. I'm going to say vote for Jasmine Crockett because that's who I'm voting for. But you vote for
Right.
whoever you want to vote for. But
Just
I'm
go
with
out and vote.
Jazz.
Then y'all vote for Jasmine.
Expired. Delay is recognized.
Thank you. I seek unanimous consent to introduce into the record the research that Representative Kamlager-Dove and I referenced concerning the threat of right-wing domestic terrorism, which the Department of Justice scrubbed from its website in September.
Without objection, the gentlelady from
Thank
Texas
you.
is recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. And to be clear, I'm not going to ask any questions of this witness because this witness has revealed that she has no intentions of answering questions. But instead, I'm going to ask some very basic questions really quickly of my colleague, Becca Ballant, if she will answer right or wrong, raping children.
Wrong.
Right or wrong, killing random citizens.
Definitely wrong.
Right or wrong, enriching yourself as the sitting president of the United States.
Definitely wrong.
Okay, thank you, because I probably never would have got that with our witness. Our witness who somehow is a lawyer but does not understand how it works with witnesses. I'm not really sure what law school she went to and what all kind of cases she tried, but typically when you come into a space and somebody's a witness, then they sit there and they answer questions instead of asking questions. And then we also have this objection that we use as lawyers called non-responsive when a witness fails to actually answer the question. But nevertheless, let me address the survivors because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice. We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong in this country because it's not about partisanship. And that's why I applaud Thomas Massey, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption. But nevertheless, let me keep going. My Democratic colleagues have been attacked this entire committee hearing. They have been lied on. And frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In the written testimony of this witness, of this particular witness, she stated that when she took office, she had two main goals. The first was to end the weaponization of justice, and second, to return the department to its core mission. Not only have you lied about both, you've intentionally done the exact opposite. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting journalists than you are prosecuting pedophiles and creeps. In fact, your boss, the President of the United States, stated that this administration, quote, took the freedom of speech away. And at your direction, DOJ has arrested Don Lemon and Georgia Fort. And I might add that y'all actually had a judge that rejected y'all for trying to arrest Don Lemon before, just like the grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Kelly, just like a grand jury rejected y'all as it relates to Senator Slotkin, just like the case against Tish James was dismissed and the case against Mr. Comey was dismissed. I completely don't get how it is that you're sitting at the top of DOJ because you don't seem to be good at your job. You're spending more taxpayer resources arresting these journalists.
That is a good question. Anybody else with this track record, bringing the DOJ's track record down, like they have like a 98 or 99 point something percent success rate?
Yeah, their success rate was really, really high. And I think it was like at 98%. And most people didn't want to go against the feds because they are, when you go against the feds 9 times out of 10, you're going to lose that case. But not in this case, though. Not with Pam Bondi being the head of it. For whatever reason, they can't seem to win.
Even if I was a MAGA supporter, I would have to say you got to get rid of Pam Bondi.
Right. Because she really is not doing the job, and she is bringing down the numbers.
She's making MAGA look pathetic, incompetent, dumb.
In fact, we know after Georgia Fort and Don Lemon were arrested, we know that there were homes of journalists that were raided. We know that threatened prosecution against students protesting your actions and forced tech companies to remove apps used to track ISIS activities. But let's circle back to you protecting pedophiles and creeps, because I want to talk about the president and his possible involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I don't know what the president might have done with Jeffrey Epstein, but unlike this administration, I believe that facts matter. So let's talk about the facts. Fact number one, Donald Trump is one of the most named people in the Epstein files. At least 5,000 files contains more than 38,000 references to Trump, his wife, or Mar-a-Lago. Fact number two, Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell made young girls available to Trump on multiple occasions. For example, according to this file, Ghislaine Maxwell presented a young girl to President Trump who spent more than 20 minutes apparently flirting with her. Here's another example. This shows notes from FBI investigators that describe Jeffrey Epstein transporting a victim to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President Trump, where he bragged to Trump that, quote, "This is a good one." Now, I'm not saying that the president is a pedophile, but there is a lot of evidence in these files that suggests that he's very close friends with a lot of men who are pedophiles. What's crazy about all of this is just that this is a big cover-up. And this administration is engaged in it. In fact, this administration is complicit. But there are numerous others, like how the DOJ is attempting to obstruct justice in the investigation of the rogue agents who have murdered American citizens, or how the DOJ seized voter data from Fulton County in an attempt to steal the 2026 midterm elections, or how federal agents have Tom Homan on tape accepting a bribe and your agency killed the investigation, or how your agency is ready to give the president a $230 million payday, which is unconstitutional. The Constitution is clear. The president shall not receive any payment except his salary while in office. The fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history, an attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution. And Mr. Chairman, I will yield.
Gentlelady yields. Gentleman from Missouri is ready.
Woo, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
Maybe she said a whole barrel full. I'm even tired after that long sentence.
Okay. All right, because you know, she will definitely go down. I mean, he's definitely going to go down in history as the most corrupt president in American history up
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
And she's going to, of course, be right in line with, you know, when they put that in history books, she's going to be a part of that administration who
Yeah.
couldn't even get any of the cases that they brought forth to actually, you know, a victory.
Well, I think all of them going down as the worst at even this Congress. The Congress is going down. The cabinet is going down. The whole administration, the whole administration, along with the Republican Congress, they're all going to go down in history as the worst Congress and president administration in history.
The
And
time that we almost fell into
dictatorship and
uh-huh.
authoritarianship.
Yeah.
Well, what is it? Authoritarian
Yeah.
regime or
Mm-hmm.
country, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. They gonna say that
I
we
don't think they're going
almost
to win, though. I think it's more of us than it is them, and I just don't think they're going to win. I'm
well.
optimistic about that.
The reason why I know they're not gonna win is because let's just listen to again a Republican. He had the next he was gonna have the next time to speak, and so he gives his time to Pam Bondi, and she responds to
Yeah.
Jasmine. So let's listen to just the sheer ignorance, and let's look at this guy and how he handles it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, gentleman from Kansas, the Attorney General, former Attorney General, Mr. Schmidt is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and General Bondi, thanks for being here. Did you have anything you wanted to say before we talk?
I do. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, my friend, for many years. I find it interesting that she didn't even want to try, Congresswoman Crockett, to ask any questions because she certainly did not condemn her leader, Hakeem Jeffries, for taking money from Jeffrey Epstein after Epstein was convicted. And I will be brief to give you your time, Congressman.
But see, my thing is, if you gonna say some shit like that as if he committed a crime, then just perform the investigation.
Right.
Oh yeah, you ain't gotta even bring. If you saying that he did some shady stuff with Jeffrey Epstein, okay, we'll release all the files, investigate all the people who did something.
No. The director of the Attorney General office, Todd Blanche, said there will be no more investigations. The FBI director, Kash Patel, said it's not enough evidence to do another to investigate anybody else.
So this what she's doing is pointless. What are
Hmm.
you doing this for? In fact, I would even say it's egregious because if you know that you're not even going to, and it's disrespectful to the decorum of the meeting because you are literally just doing this for theatrics to put on the show at this point. You don't have any plans on doing anything with this information except trying to belittle people and make them look bad. But this is about the victims who are in this room right now, and you think this is a game.
Right. And then have the nerves to leave the victim names in the files, but redact all of the predators in the files. You protecting the predators and revealing the victims.
And this is what she didn't want to talk about. Texas, from Cuba, convicted, homicide, arson, weapon offense.
Convicted.
That don't even have anything to do with this hearing right here.
Right.
What about the Epstein files?
So what we talking about? Convict some of these perpetrators that rape these women that are
Chairman,
sitting
time
behind you,
time
that
belongs to
you
the
refuse
gentleman
to even
from
acknowledge
Kansas.
they are here.
Time belongs to the gentleman from Kansas.
Mr. Chairman, could I have a few?
You see how he tries to interrupt her, but he don't interrupt
Mm-hmm.
Pam Bondi. He let her go off and say all
Yeah.
types of rude,
Why
disrespectful,
she
idiotic.
deflects? Why she
Yeah,
deflects with these pictures?
exactly.
Seconds
You
back
bet,
to make
you
up
bet.
for the yelling. Thank you. General, did you have anything?
To make up for the yelling. You see what Jasmine Crockett did? She said, "Bitch, fuck you."
All right.
Further to say?
Texas, convicted of homicide. Cecil Joseph, from Dominican Republic. Texas, convicted for kidnapping.
You talking to yourself now, boo. You were supposed to be trying to respond to her. She gone. So you might as well put all them papers up, cause don't nobody care about none of that stuff you talking about.
Kidnapping, rape. Khalid Khan from Afghanistan. That's why they want to talk about Epstein and not what's happening in their own states.
Well, first of all, we're not
Mr.
supposed to
General,
know
thank
about
you
your
for being.
investigations. First of all, we're not supposed to know anything about an investigation that the DOJ is bringing, and so the House won't even discuss it or bring it up if you're investigating them. Just like Biden didn't bring up the Epstein. They didn't have investigations when Biden was in office, simply because it was under Ghislaine was under investigation. And so she's, like you're saying, she's just playing games and trying to play in everybody's face because they don't want to face the music about their boy Epstein.
Mm-hmm. But one thing about it though, cause she was she'll interrupt the people that she thought that she could step over and stuff. I did see she definitely gave Jasmine Crockett her respect. She didn't interrupt her one time. She let her talk and say everything that she
Mm-hmm.
needed to say. So I think that Pam Bondi know who she could play with. And she realized that Jasmine wasn't one of them. As we're gonna see in these other films, I mean in these other clips.
I think she was playing. I think she was playing another game. I think she know Jasmine is gonna be excited, so she tried to make her look stupid by staying calm, and by just continue speaking like bringing her agenda to the forefront instead of talking about what Jasmine was talking about.
Well, that's why I'm saying that's why I know she didn't interrupt Jasmine either because she understood that if she did, she wouldn't have been able to try to pull off that stunt because Jasmine would have ate her alive and made her look like the pathetic loser, incompetent, scumbag that she is. So
Okay, then I agree with that also.
And then we have another one. I'm having a hard time downloading this one though, so I'm gonna see. Let me see something. Oh yeah, it's not working. So yeah, we're gonna have to do some what do you call it?
Well,
And
we're almost at our 2 hour mark anyway. So,
you
whichever,
want to wait?
yeah, we can bring the rest of the show. We can just re-download it the old way. And next
Mhm.
time we come on, we can just bring the rest of the information because it'll all still be pretty new.
Well, we actually have a whole nother half of the show that you actually downloaded the video that you were smart about.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to go to Canva and present them,
Yeah,
or
I'll do the
okay.
FAFO and then
Yeah, let's just do a couple more because we're almost at our 2 hour mark.
yeah. So we can end with the FAFO and then we'll have some final remarks.
Okay.
All right, so let me go ahead and get this up.
But
So yeah,
they're not done with Pam Bondi yet either. She may be thinking that she's escaping right now, and she's playing these games right now. But it's going to be a new, the Democrats will be in charge in November, and these hearings will come back up again. I'm pretty sure.
well, one thing about it is the Democrats have not failed to continue to release information.
Exactly. At least they are getting the information out. And I have my issues, with the Democrats, but one thing I can say, I can give them kudos on of going by the Constitution and respecting the Constitution and the rule of law.
Right,
And
right.
and if it's any Democrats in the Epstein files, we don't mind call them out, bring them front and center. Let's see let's see why they was there. Let's investigate them because we don't have a problem with our people being
Held
investigated
accountable. Right.
or being held accountable and going by the law. We don't have a problem with that.
Well, this video is, I don't know if this stems from racism, but I know it definitely involves some stupidity on one person's part. So this is a video that I saw surface on my Twitter where they're at work. One guy who happens to be white is attacking and antagonizing this other black guy. And we're going to see how that worked out for that person.
Drop this shit now. Go ahead on, man. Watch out the way, man. Watch out the way, man.
Hey, y'all need to stop, man. Y'all need to stop, man. I got it. You can't put your hands on him, bro.
That's it, right? Put your fucking phone. Let me go, man. Let me go, man.
Something wrong.
Let me go, man.
Are
Let
they
me
drunk?
go, man.
Like,
Let me go, man. Nothing happened, right? Let me go, man. Let me go.
Hey, y'all need to stop, yo.
Dude, please, man. I'm begging you, please. I'm begging you, please, man. Dude, I'm begging you.
oh, there you go. All right, so yeah, I saw how that ended up for that man. Whole
But why he
thing.
kept putting his hands on him though? He kept
That
telling him
was
to leave him
so
alone.
weird.
Yeah, who do he think he is? Can't go around putting your hands on anyone these days. And back in the day either. You just keep your hands to yourself. That's the number one golden rule.
That's right. That's right. Keep your hands to yourself
And
and your
I
thoughts.
wonder was he a supervisor and felt like he had the power over this dude? And you do have those coworkers too that think that they're a
Get a little
supervisor or
power drunk.
get a little power or what have you, and they puff their chest out also. So I can't say, but I just wonder, did he have any leverage over the worker? Was that the worker
Mm-hmm.
versus supervisor, or maybe
Right.
lead versus worker? Because a lead is the
Right.
same damn thing as you.
Right.
It's just that they let you be in charge and don't pay you
You on
for
the
it.
porch. Yeah, you on the porch now.
Yeah, but he messed around and found out, though. He effed around and find out, about putting his hands on people. I don't think he's gonna do that again.
Yeah. Regardless of, if it's whatever it was, however it was motivated, whether or not, you definitely need to keep your hands to yourself because you never know how people can respond and you might F around and find out like that man did.
Exactly.
I think, like you said, with Pam Bondi, we are going, like I was saying, the Democrats, they have not. They keep releasing information. I feel like they are doing slow leaks. I think they have so much more information that they're probably going to end up coming in contact with in the upcoming future with all these files. So I think that
It's drip, drip, drip.
that coupled with these very unpopular immigration tactics and the huge budget that they are spending for the immigration,
Right.
and
Well, they're trying to vote on that budget right now to fund DHS.
what they say
And
that
so Mhm.
well, first off, I just want to kind of just throw this out there. They're going to have these detention centers that are going to be privately owned detention centers. These aren't going to be government facilities. These are going to be privately owned facilities that are going to be housing these alleged immigrants or illegals at, I think the price was $76 per person. With, I think right now they're housing 76,000 immigrants right now. Is the person's whoever it is that they're going to commission, whatever company that they're going to commission to house these immigrants, stands to make a hell of a lot of money off of the American taxpayers. Why we need so many facilities to house people that we want to get rid of is beyond me, but that is the goal. And like they said, the goal isn't to get rid of all these people and have the most deportations, because that's where their bread and butter is right now. ICE is their bread and their butter. So, don't plan just because you're going to see more brutality. Don't think that it's going to lead to more deportations. I guarantee you it won't. Um, Also, what else did we talk about? Oh, the racism.
Well, let me just say something about that.
Okay.
About the detention centers, it's kind of like what they did with the prison system. They're putting people, they're filling these prisons up so that these private owners can make money, and they make sure they keep them filled up. You know, America is the only country that lock up most of their. We got the most people locked up than any other country, and we're the
Hmm.
only ones that lock up our citizens like we do. Because people make money off of that, after you going to jail.
Right. And that's why for a long time was so many black people that was locked up. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm pretty
they
sure
filled
it's
them.
still
Yeah,
like
they
that,
filled them up
but
with us. Now they just filling them up with anybody.
hmm
Um, whoever get into the system, you can just rest assured that you're gonna go down. And a lot of times they fill them up illegally because they would plant things on people and bring up fake evidence. They would mess up the trial and just be real biased when you went to court. So they kind of ensured that you was gonna go down.
right.
They helped you along the way, and so I guess they're going to do that with the detention centers, and so that's one of the reasons why ICE shouldn't be funded, in my opinion,
I
because
think
you're
now
supposed to be deporting people.
I think Democrats are now the new black people in America. It's just if you're a Democrat,
Hmm.
you know, um, they're gonna find a way to, either imprison you or unalive you, or take you or torture you in some kind of way with the process, or by taking you off somewhere and having you figure out how to get back home in
Hmm.
another state. This type of stuff Democrats are gonna have to deal with now instead of just the black people.
Mm. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, I don't think people going to be taking all of that. I just don't think that's going to work for people. And so it's not. It's just not going to work out well for them. I don't think that's going to work well for them. I think they're going to get defunded. A lot of people are going to go to jail, and a lot of people are going to be investigated. That's just my opinion of it, and it's all
Oh yeah.
allegedly.
Oh yeah.
Um, and next time we come on, I'm going to do some. I want us to talk about all the funding that Trump is trying to take away from the Democratic states. And not even just Democrats, because I seen Andy Beshear last night on the clip, and that's the governor of Kentucky, right? And he's a Democrat, but he said that Trump is trying to take funding away from all states. So, everybody's having to take him to court to get funds that Congress has already passed a law that they get. That Congress has already approved them to get this funding, and Trump is trying to stop it every step of the way. And I have no idea why he would do that.
Because Israel allegedly needs all the money, and he need the money. They say Israel need all the money. Apparently, we done sent $20 billion to Israel. ICE need the money. So they
Yeah, I guess he want to fund projects he want to fund and not fund anything for America. But I guess that's what's making America great again.
Yeah, I guess
to take
so.
all the funds and fund other foreign countries.
Yep, suck the American people's pockets dry. And have them just, going against each other.
Right. Distract them while you rob them.
That's making America great again. That was the whole goal. So, y'all let us know what y'all think in the comment section if y'all hit it up on the replay. Do we have any final words? Because we did talk about a lot of stuff today.
Yeah, we did. I enjoyed Nick Fuentes. I enjoyed Paul Lynch. Hell, I enjoyed the whole show. It was a great show for me.
Yeah.
It was very informative, and definitely if you're on the replay, definitely listen to Nick Fuentes and Paul Lance, because they have a few words they want to get. They got a few secrets that they spilling.
Yeah.
Some tea that they spilling for you.
Absolutely.
And I'm really kind of glad that Nick kind of came around. And Nick is not a Democrat. Let's not get that wrong. He's still who he is, but he's just calling out he's just calling the truth. He's just telling the truth. He's truth telling is basically what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
And calling Trump out.
And the person that was reviewing him obviously was a Trump supporter who, in some ways, apparently is feeling the same way. So.
Exactly. And then Paul talked about the Christian, the evangelicals.
Yep.
And their Christian values. So I just think America need to wake up. Stop trying to choose sides, because it's not about red and blue. It's about right and wrong and morals and values and ethics. It's basically what it's about. And it's about right and wrong. And it's about your pocketbook and your livelihood. That's what it's all about.
And I'm starting to believe, there is a part of me that really does believe that the blue and the red, the left and the right is all the, part of the same bigger power. You know what I'm saying? They all answer to a bigger power. And none of those people that they answer to are looking for any of our best interests on the left or the right. It seems like so.
Now, a lot of these politicians on the left and the right, they're, corporate, have them bound. They take corporate money, so they got to do what
The
corporate
donors.
say. They got and which is the corporate people. And really, the only way that anybody is going to understand anything is, for America to take their power back, and we may have to, do a little boycotting going. It may have to be a little boycotting going on.
Yeah, and they need to restrict
on a few things, so we can get our message out, because Congress work for us. We don't, we don't work for them. They work for us.
They should never ever have gotten to a point to where they feel like the American people will be okay with funding with their own taxpayer dollars their suppression of their voice and the violation of their constitutional rights and the terrorizing of their neighbors and possibly themselves in the streets. Like no,
or family and friends.
They should never thought that that was going to be something that they could even try without something terrible happening to them.
Now, one thing Nick did say, about, he want to burn down the whole Republican Party. Well, I think the Democrats need to revamp their party also. I think we need to get a lot of these older people, out of office.
I agree.
And these people that's in the donors' pockets that kind of cowtail to their donors. Well,
No
if
more
that's
foreign donors, no
yeah,
more corporate donors.
yeah,
If it's and not just a regular average person.
all the lobbyists,
Yeah.
that they fall prey to, and so they
Politicians should not get rich. I think
right.
that politicians should have a cap on their bank account and their salary.
Hmm.
If you ask me, you should be a public servant, not
That part. And you
thinking
can
you
make all
above
the money
that
you
stuff.
want while you when you get out of office, but while you're in office, you shouldn't be able to enrich your pockets, and you damn sure shouldn't have the codes to the stock market,
And as
access
long
to
as
the
you
stock market.
and as long as you're in politics, you need to have a cap on what your bank account could look like. I just, I understand people, we the nation of capitalism and all other stuff, but if you want to be a business owner, entrepreneur, and all of this, don't get into politics. Politics is for public service, and you don't enrich yourself off the taxpayer dime. So,
And we're gonna get into these Epstein files next time too, because we had that lined up also. But we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of some of these files. We're not gonna get too hard out and too deep off into it, because a lot of the stuff is horrific and disgusting. But we're gonna hit the surface of it though. So we will be talking about those files. We haven't forgotten about those files either.
y'all hit the like button, subscribe, subscribe to the channels, of course, off the record. And I said what I said. I said what I underscore said.
There you go. And you ain't doing it right. Let me do it the southern way. Y'all hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Right.
Especially
And
if you're on the replay.
especially if you're on the replay. We appreciate all opinions, all views. Don't, hesitate to put whatever you feel in the chat. And thank y'all for being here. I think it's a good place to end it, and we will see y'all on the next one. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we are out.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, you know what time it is. No scripts, no filters, no fear. We said what we said and meant that. Off the record, yeah, we keep it real. No filter, shit, we say what we feel. Politics, stories, truth on display. Come on, we talk that talk in our own way. Off the record, minion the God, let's go. Foxy 2 Roxy 3, she go hard.
I swear on everything, that is exactly what he said right here in the studio. That is the funniest thing I have heard all week.
So hard, busy with the facts she never missed. I said what I said, that's the twist. Off the record, yeah, come and catch the vibe. Where real ones talk and the truth survive. Late night truth, we don't just speak. We pull the roots from what they keep. From pain to progress, we light the flame. No spin, no script, we call it by name. Minion bring the vision, Foxy bring the flame. Lizzie drop a cease, it'll never be the same. I said what I said, say it loud, no shame. We taking truth global, remember the name. No apologies, no disguise. Just soul and purpose in our eyes. We move with power, bold and free. Say it loud, you gon' feel this energy. You wish. I said what I said, Foxy, Lizzie, Minion, the guy.